So today we'll perform this exercise. I'm just pasting the link in the chat. Okay. So what we'll be doing is yesterday we created one Docker image. Okay. And we tested that it's displaying the page properly. We'll recreate that image today again. Okay. And we'll push that image to Docker Hub. Okay. Now we created a custom image, but that image we need to share with other people. Okay, so one of the method is push it to a centralized location called Docker Hub. Okay, we access it using hub.docker.com, and from that Docker Hub, anyone can access that particular image, and you can share it with everyone. So the problem that it was working on my laptop, and why it is not working on your laptop or server, that problem will be solved because the image will be the same which is running on my laptop. Now it will also run on anyone's laptop as well, provided the Docker runtime is already installed on it. Okay, so what is Docker Hub? It is a centralized public location where we can store the Docker images. So Docker Hub is not the only place where we can store the Docker images, but it is one of the very famous ones. The others are we can have it on our on-prem vanilla Docker registry that also we'll see next. Okay. Then we have JFrog, then Nexus. These are very famous, and every cloud has the container repository. Like Azure has Azure Container Registry, AWS has ECR, Elastic Container Registry, and GCP also has Artifact Registry or Google Container Registry. But we are starting with Docker Hub, and then we'll also see how to install Vanilla Container Registry, and later we are also seeing Nexus. So meanwhile, just create an account in Docker Hub using sign up. I already have an account. I'll just sign in. Okay, so after signing, if you just click on Docker Hub icon, you will see an option called create repository. And in this exercise we are also creating a repository called web app. Okay, I already have. So what I'll do is I'll just delete this one, web app. I'll go to settings. You don't have to do this, I already have it, so I'm just deleting it. Okay, so keep the other image as it is. I'll create one more repository, but till then let's explore Docker Hub. Okay, so when we log into the Docker Hub, you can see there are various images already available. So Postgres company has already uploaded the Postgres image. Then we have MySQL image, Neo4j, Golang, PHP. All the images, almost every image is available here. You just name it and we can find it. So we have always used Nginx. Okay. So we have the Nginx images here. Then if we see HTTPD, it is also available. If you want to see Kafka is also available here. So most of the images are available here. Now I'll create our new repository. It's still deleting. I don't know if it's allow or not. Let's try web app. Okay, and we can create public and private both the images, but as of now we are creating only a public repository. Okay, and we can also create a private repository, but in a free plan, because this Docker Hub also has a enterprise plan. Okay, but in a free plan we can create only one private repository. That's why it is saying 0 of 1 private repository is used. So I just created a web app 1. Not one, only web app repository. Again, go to repositories and check that we have one public repository called web app, which doesn't have any content now. Okay. Now let's again create our custom image which we want to push it to Docker Hub. So again, we'll create the same directory structure like mkdir website and all. So what I'll do is I'll already have a website directory. I'll just remove it. The yesterday's one. I'll just remove it. I have everything clean. Again, let's check if I have any Docker images running or Docker containers running. Okay, so I have the images. I'll just okay, so you just note down this command. With this command, you can do the cleanup. Okay, means it will delete everything, Docker images and also the Docker containers if any running. So I don't have to do one by one. Everything is clear now. Docker images. What happened? It didn't create. This will remove all stopped containers. Okay, it didn't do it for the images. No, not even. Leave it. It should work. Sudo docker stop. Okay, it will remove the stopped ones. Okay, docker ps-a. Now it has removed it, this command, but the stopped ones, not the running ones. And let's check images. Images it must have not removed. I will remove it manually. RMI, the web app one, and the Nginx which we created yesterday. Okay, so everything is clean up.
Okay, can you
Docker,
make the font little, very little bigger?
yeah, just a minute. Settings, configuration.
Increase it by pressing the control and mouse.
It's fine, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll create a mkd. Let's check sudo docker ps-a and the images. So everything is clean. Mkdir website, cd website. So today we'll not create an app directory. We'll directly create index.html. We are creating an app directory as well. Okay. It's same as yesterday. Mkdir app cd app cat index.html. Let's keep it same. This is my HTML app. Okay. So I'm in app directory. Just go back one directory and create a Docker file as well. So the same Docker file which we used yesterday, almost same. So what it will do is it'll just copy the app directory contents into USR share Nginx HTML. It will download the base image Nginx Alpine. Now being in the website directory, will build the image. Sudo docker build -t, give it a tag web app, and today we'll give it a particular version. Okay, so we are creating a version 1. This is first version, and just click on dot. But while creating an image, this time let's give our username of Docker Hub. Okay, so how you'll get the username of the Docker Hub? If you click on your profile icon, this is my username. Your username will be different. So just append that username to the image, okay, and then add slash. Just like this. It needs in this format, otherwise it won't. While pushing the image, it will create an issue. So username of Docker Hub and then the name of the image. So just check sudo docker images. Okay. So the base image it has downloaded on the, and on the top of that it has created this image web app version 1. Okay, and now what we have to do is, the only thing which we need to do is, we have the custom image ready. We can for the testing test that whether it's running fine or not. So what I'll do is sudo docker run -d. D stands for run it in a detached mode, -p 8081, map it to port 80 inside the container, and run it as the image name web app version 1. Okay, so if you check sudo docker ps curl localhost, it is only for testing we are doing. This step is not required. This is my HTML app. Okay, that means it is running fine. So just stop that container, sudo docker stop. Okay, and we'll also remove it, sudo docker ps -a sudo docker rm. So as of now we only have the image, the container is removed. Sudo docker ps -a sudo docker ps sudo docker images. The custom image which we created, that is the only one which is available on this system. Now just do sudo docker push. Just try to push this image v1 and notice what is happening on the screen. Okay, it will say request access to the resource is denied. Okay, why? Because this is a public repository. Okay, and it doesn't know that it is my repository. Okay, only I can push anything to the my public repository, but it hasn't authenticated. Okay, like just like the GitHub, even if we have the public GitHub repository, we cannot push it to anyone's public repository. Same way in the GitHub, in the Docker Hub also, even if it is a public Docker Hub repo, we cannot push it until and unless we authenticate. So this step is important. Just do Docker login. Okay, here also we can create personal access token, but our Docker Hub credentials will also work. Okay, so I'll just use my Docker Hub username and my Docker Hub password itself. We are not creating personal access token as of now. I'll just enter my password of Docker Hub, and this is we'll have to add sudo to it, and this is very important. This is one of the interview questions. So any repository it may be, okay, we'll have to do the authentication. One of the method is, by default when I do Docker login, okay, it will authenticate with Docker Hub only. Okay, if you want to authenticate with some other, we'll see that next, how to authenticate with the other repository. So if you see, it has stored our password here in our current location, means in the root, because I have run it as a sudo, and it created a .docker directory, and inside that config.json it has stored my password. Now onwards, okay, if I do just docker push, it will start pushing the image to Docker Hub. Now just go to Docker Hub, okay, click on repositories, click on web app, and if I go to tags, okay, not here, also we can see version 1. So the so the image is pushed to the Docker Hub v1. A few seconds ago it is saying version 1 we have pushed it. And if you see it here, it is, we can, it is giving the command as well, docker push the username, the web app name, and then the tag name. We can give tag name anything, latest, beta 1, v1, v2, anything. Okay, so we don't even have to learn the commands, it is also available here. So what we did is, till now, so using sudo docker ps, we can list the running containers, ps-a. We can list running and non-running containers. Using docker images, we can list the docker images. Using sudo docker pull, we can just pull the image. Okay, so we'll just do that now. Prayagas web app. So before pulling it, what I'll do is I'll just remove it, otherwise we won't come to know which one is running, because next will be again running the container. I'll just remove it, web app 1, web app version 1. Okay, sudo docker rm I. Okay, I've removed the image as well. Let's remove nginx as well, so that everything is clean. To add alpine to it, so we don't have images here, we don't have even the containers. Now sudo docker pull, we can pull the image which we created now, but the format should be in this web app version 1. And if I do directly docker run as well, it will just pull and then run the docker container. Okay, now again if you see, we have pulled it from the docker hub now. Okay, and we can run it the same
For
way.
pulling, you don't have to log in, right?
No, for pulling we don't have to log in. Just same way when we push any code to GitHub, we just clone it, right? We don't have to authenticate. Similarly, so docker ps and curl localhost. So 8081. So what we'll do next is, whenever any one of you will be creating the same image, I'll try to pull it on my laptop and we'll see the demo that I can run your image as well here. Okay, even if you try to pull it now, just now, or directly run this command, okay, you will be able to see the same page. Okay, so this was for Docker Hub.